Your commission now, beach volleyball.
Yes.
We can talk about the Commonwealth Games.
Yes.
They were there. They were in Italy. Kenya played there.
Yes.
And also an active scene now, men's and women's. Tell us this.
I want to thank the Beach Volleyball Commission because it has worked tirelessly under the Secretary General, that is the Secretary, Bwana Mulinge, Coach Owino, and Madam Sari, and I heading them. And we have opened up beach courts all over the country. The recent one is the one that we opened 2 weeks ago in Budarangi. That is a place called Chase Bay in Mbuthia, near Port Victoria. And that one is already set. We have opened in Homa Bay, we've opened in Nyandarua. Nyandarua has 6, and particularly the Daragwa constituency. And out of that, we have some boys right now traveling, coming for that Mary Show elite course, because they have been using the beach court under the Arnaule Uzoev. So we have picked 2 of them from that school that has a beach court, and it will be very easy for Madam Sari, who is going to coach them at Mary Show in Kajiado. Yes.
Well, now that you've mentioned that, is because it's a conversation I think we've had severally.
Yes.
But the kind of sand that is required for you to have an appropriate beach of volleyball court that can be used, because we know of landlocked countries that dominate the sport.
Yes.
But here we have
tell you that even the Olympics, they were not played in the onshore. They played in the landlocked, in the interior of Japan. It was not along the coastal strip. And so just a matter of sand. You transport sand and deposit it in a place that you have already secured, and you make sure it is about 40 centimeters, and make sure that the grains are small, that they have gone through what we call abrasion and attrition in river erosion. I know you went through that during your school days. And once we have that fine sand, it doesn't matter whether this sand is from the ocean or from the lake or even from interior, like the case of the sand mining in Ukambani. That sand, if you look at some of the courts that we have developed in Nyandarua, like that one of Rishao Secondary School, it has black kind of sand. So there is no specification, because the types of rocks where this sand was gotten in Nyandarua is volcanic type, that is blackish, and provided that sand does not have large pebbles, large shingles, it has very small grains, and it satisfies what we have said, you are good to go. You're good to go. But if you can get the ocean, the ocean, whatever, sand, like the white sand, it will be a plus. Yes.
And this is now where I want to come in is there. You mentioned to me collaborations. It's not just schools, but religious institutions are coming into this.
I want to say, and I thank the very many institutions that have seen it fit, that during this season where the young ones have been at home for not less than almost 60 days, they are about. 60 days is a lot of time. And the churches, the schools, the parents, and very many other bodies have come up. I can tell you 1,001 centers that have been operating from that time. It only happened that maybe some of them slowed down because of our tradition, the circumcision going on in some places. But in a nutshell, we have, for example, the Sasa beach, the Sasa camp in Kayore has been on for almost now 30 days. The young ones, the girls there are in the camp. In fact, the government spotted what they were doing, and the sports academy took those 20 girls and took them to Junja, that is in JKUAT University, and they were trained there by the sports the sports academy. I must thank the CEO at this point in time.
That's Kenya Sports Academy, the ones Kasarani.
Yes. So they decided to transfer them where we have very many varieties of, the field, the volleyball, football, basketball, name it. Not that they'll not do it in their place. I think the work is in progress. We have a church, ACK, and I must salute the vicar of the church, because they have sat down in Moranga, that's a place called Sabasaba, and they have put together a number of sporting activity that we donated to them. That is volleyball, chess, basketball, hardball, badminton, table tennis, lawn tennis, name them all. And now even the squash and also the softball, yes, they're also coming in on board. In fact, we're supposed to launch the second camp anytime starting next week, before the school open on 23rd, 21st there. So we have the churches, we have the schools, we have international schools like Mary Shaw, which has taken, the NOC has taken the initiative, because they have some of the best fields and even facilities, so to speak. I'm not here to advertise, but I'm saying because I've been there not once, not twice. And Ngugi, who is the chairman of that youth commission, has found it okay. He's moved now from KU, he's moved from Rukenya, and now roads are leading to Merisho School, where we shall train the young ones for the next 2 weeks. And I hope, as you said, about 200. I'm happy that you're on top of things, you're aware, and you know even the disciplines that are there, the 21 you've said. I'm impressed. Yes.
All right. Yeah, thanks to Nog. They did that. And remember, later we shall be joining strength and conditioning coach Jeffrey Kemani via Zoom from his senior. So he's going to give us the outlook for this and the preparations tied to that. Now, 2023 beach volleyball. What's the way, the competitions, and because ideally beach volleyball is an interesting sport.
Very interesting.
You get ranked on the pairing, and how consistent they play. What's the plan for them?
Well, beach volleyball, it's just like you know of some animals that only pair together. And if one dies, you don't go for a second partner. You just
talk about eagles.
Yes, the fish eagle. Fish eagle is a good example. And beach volleyball is the same. You pair the two. If one gets injured, that's the end of the story. And this is what we've agreed with the Secretary General of NOC, that we have at least 4. We have 2 pairs for men and women, and 2 pairs for men, for men and for women. And in this case, our pairing is based on what the young ones have done in the past. We have a primary school called Soin in the lower part of Nandi, and those girls now are in Form 1, Form 2 in Bomet. So we have talked to their administration, and they have released the girls. They are on their way now to the place. And for the boys, we were trying to look at those boys from one from Kajiado. This is a tall, let me name a tribe here, Masai boy, that has a very good height, and one more from Hospital Hill, and the other 2 we have picked from Kaba school in Nyandarua, Kaba Technical, which has a beach court. For the other girls, we have picked from the Sasa camp in Kayore, and I want to thank NOC for allowing us to have some more, because initially they had only picked 2. Yes.
Well, so competition-wise, especially for the senior team, we've got the Gordentian team. So for the senior team, how do they get these points?
I want to answer your question. You had mentioned what are our plans for the year 2023. We have actually not finished our beach tour. We have one remaining that we intend to hold it in Mombasa in the month of February. And I want to thank here Deep Heat, because Deep Heat sponsored the last year event in Mombasa. Would wish that they also come in and sponsor the second one, and have it in Mombasa in the North Coast, just near the public beach, the Kenyatta public beach. And thereafter now we shall have a program after assessing what we have on our conventional volleyball, because the 2 have to be married. We haven't yet gotten enough referees. We only have 1, as I keep saying. And so we would not like to have a crash program. We would like to have beach volleyball when the conventional volleyball is not on.
keep the players active and keep them going. The international scene, and this is, I mean, especially now to build up on Rome and Birmingham. What, therefore, our girls?
Yes, I think one, we have even been doing things chini ya maji. Our young girls, we decided, instead of taking the senior ones in Mombasa, when we had the Nyerere Open beach volleyball tournament in Dar es Salaam, we did send those girls from Soin and the 2 boys from Strathmore University. Our main objective here is not to go and win, but to have the young girls start playing, training in preparation for Olympic 2028. So it's not just a matter of having the senior ones, but we're changing slowly by slowly to make sure that they do well. In Bujumbura, a fortnight ago, we had Wavinya and Kasisi, Florence, representing this country. We had Oduri, but Oduri lost his partner because of the problem of the shoulder. So I know Oduri might not have done very well because we had a new one. And as we said, once you partner, if the other person happens to be ex, a problem will crop up.
Well, we shall be looking out for that. And now that you've mentioned officiating,
yes,
when the KVF was in Eldoret,
yes,
late last year,
yes,
there was the tournament there. What's being done to upgrade our referees? To have.
We were in actually we were in Nandi County in an area, a place called Mosoriot, and in Mosoriot we had a training of 85. Referees, a majority of them being teachers. About 65 were from colleges and from secondary school and from primary school. And the idea here is to make sure that we improve the human, you call it human what? The personnel in terms of officiating, because a problem can crop up. We also had another international one in VVIP in Kasarani, where we had the DG himself giving us those facilities free of charge, and the teachers were able to train in Kasarani. We also had another very successful one in Nyeri, that is in Rorengo, where I must thank the MP Nyeri Town and the Honorable Maina Madenge, and he gave us the facilities free of charge. It's good to have some of these politicians who are volleyballers. Remember, Maina participated in Nyandarua High School,
yes,
later played for KCB, and he was even vice chairman Nairobi branch. So when he was told that we have, I said, big tick. And our guest of honor during the closing ceremony at Kasarani was Honorable Orero, the MP Kibra. And he came in and had it. It was just a matter of calling and saying, anything improving the teacher's skill, I'm there. And I'm happy that now he is in the Parliamentary Sports Committee, together with Dan Wanyama, the former Secretary General, Kenya Volleyball Federation.
Well, there it is. So that's on the referee side. Coaching.
The coaching, because
I would like to mention something is that when Paul Bitok took over the Malkia Strikers, he simply said, we've got to change our ways, or else we are not going to have a sport.
The coaches have also been trained. In fact, the Kasarani one, we are saying, out of 15, 7 were referees, 8 were coaches. In Nyeri, 8 were referees, 7 were coaches. In Mosoriot, the referees, were many because there were about 60 and the remaining 30 coaching. You know, there is one bit of refereeing. You get a certificate, you qualify, you start earning there and then. Coaches, you have to start a team from zero. You have to be spotted somewhere, be attached to a team. So there is no that direct benefit. But the coaches will have to forgive me for this. And this is why the numbers keep thinning down when you compare it to the refereeing. But it is more rewarding in the long run when you have your own team starting from zero, training up to a certain level. Because we have also seen we do not have international referees being spotted outside the country. We only have international coaches. Bitok has trained outside. Muringe has trained outside. There are so many others that are on their way out, like Dasaba also trained in Rwanda. But we have never had a referee being picked by a country X to go and officiate in their country. So I would rather advise our coaches, our teachers, to join
coaching.
Yes.
Oh, wavumilie wakule mbivu.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there it is. And I would like to come in now here with the other side of you being a teacher.
Yes.
The Ministry of Education. Yes. Let me just read this. Yes. They released what would be guidelines for junior high school.
Yes.
And so let me put it here. CBC Junior. This is it. The core subjects: mandatory English, Swahili or Kenyan Sign Language, maths, integrated science. There's health education, pre-technical or pre-career education. It all comes down, but one thing that has become core is sports and physical education.
Yes.
So, how does this now come in to, come into the curriculum so that it is not confused as the old PE?
Yes.
The one that we did where you are doing frog jumps and things like that.
Yes. I want to say here that matters education, there is a lot of bureaucracy which is meant to cement the real issues. And we have our spokesperson, that is Mr. Ndware, who is the patron of the secondary school games. And I'm not trying to evade this. What I'm trying to say here is that the policy, once it is set, we are called now for a seminar where we are trained on how to tackle those issues. This seminar has not been called yet, and I would be jumping the gun if I try to shoot and the gun, doesn't have enough ammunition. So I want to say, maybe in our next program, we shall be able to enumerate those issues after being guided accordingly, both by the ministry officials. But in a nutshell, you and I went through this system where we had PE lesson during our days.
Tuesday was the best day. Classes were done by 3 o'clock.
That was your school. Our school, it was Friday. And and you know what our principal had done? That the 2 lessons before Satisa, they were for PE. So we would have the whole afternoon. That was the Shaw Secondary School. The whole afternoon on Friday. It was fun. And thereafter, you and I know that the PE lesson was put in between lessons, and very many math teachers would borrow the PE lesson for them. And so that thing just died away. I hope now that it's compulsory, the teachers, the mathematics teachers particularly, they were the worst in this one, and English teachers, because they really wanted double to make sure that they, now that it is compulsory, you realize that something will come out of it, and you never know. The John Gogis of this world, the Catherine Derevas, the Waideras, name them all, they came out of this thing because this thing used to have to be there. And you know, one time our late president said that a kid with no play is no kid. So we need to have them jump aloud. We have them reduce the whatever, the public opinions, like the one Mbuthia has, to make sure that the kids are busy, so to speak.
Okay. And welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. And it's a day when we've had a delegation from FIFA and CAF meeting with the Football Federation and the State Department for Sport and the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Sport and the Arts. Babu Namwamba has met with that delegation and given his remarks, putting out the bare minimums required. 1, governance, accountability, transparency. The other one, collaborations on infrastructure development, and also a collaboration on general development of match officials and coaches. Well, I was having a conversation, around education and schools, and that system has been mentioned because it directly touches on the schools that we have got here and how they're going to work going forward. Moses Mbuthia is a teacher, better known from the volleyball circles, but he's also with the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association. He's directly involved. Before we come to him, to mention our sign language interpreter, is Susan So,
yes, I think from the onset, I want to thank the minister first because of apologizing. It's always good to note that they are people's servant. They are actually not bosses. And that, to me, I'm humbled by that single statement because the media guys go there, wait for hours, and they have got other places to go. So to me, it's a big salute for the minister. Also, the way he has enumerated very candidly on matters football, saying very well that there is a difference between the government interference and the government assisting. So this will be a kind of a symbiotic kind of help where the government comes up now with the standard viwanja like Kasarani. What is missing, the government should plant it in. And I also agree with him that we should, as federation officials, we are not supposed to be living in space. We are supposed to be accountable. How much money do I get from deep hit? How is that money going and how does it go down? Was there any other allocation that when deep hit came in, that allocation, did it go to pockets of people? And to me,
it should go to the pockets of people, but the right ones.
Of course, Wachezaji. And to me, even the amount of money that comes from FIFA, the amount of money that comes from FIVB, the coaches that we have, the Brazilian coaches, we should be accountable. Tell Kenyans, these coaches have been paid for by Brazil this much, and the Kenyan coach who has not been blah, 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 blah. This is what has happened. Accountability should be the bottom line. Then the other thing is that relationship between the Ministry of Sports and Education. And I think here I must thank the minister because when we were launching the beach volleyball in Chesbe in Budarangi, I realized that he had even invited the Minister for Education. And I know they are in talking terms. So when he says that the teachers should be trained, I know very well, most likely that he has talked to the Minister, Honorable Moshogu, and the PS in that ministry. And to me, there should be that symbiotic leadership. If you look at a country like Uganda, the Ministry of Education and Sports, because the two tend to marry. You know, the minister is appearing kind of to be getting into education. But you know the two are supposed to be working together. Because that teacher from primary school should be trained by who? By
the appropriate federation.
Exactly. And so I like the way these people are working together with this bottom-up approach where the bottom has to be seen from primary school, from nursery, and up that way. We cannot get a referee who is officiating a primary school game and has no knowledge on what happens, on what FIFA expect, on what FIVB expect. So to me, that's a very nice move of working as a unit. And I think ultimately, the results will be gotten. It may not be this year. As you said, this is not instant coffee. So we expect the results thereafter. And the journey of starts with what? The first step.
The first step.
Yes.
And I want to bring in something because it's to do with the school games and now with the curriculum.
Yes.
How is it going to going to change the face of school sports going forward with the introduction of junior high, which is basically primary school at a higher level, and also now senior high school? How's that going to change?
To me, I think, as I did mention, matters policy. This is something that is being sought for by quite a number of, allow me to switch off, by the Ministry of Education with all the stakeholders therein. If I speak for them, I'll be making a mistake because this has not been synchronized yet, but it will be done in due course. Once that is done before we open the school, I know very well you might as well invite the Secretary General, KSSA, or even the patron, and you'll be able to streamline those things that will go with the secondary school, with the primary school, and even university, because that pillar should be complete by the primary, secondary, and the university for us to give us a good pick at the top.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moses Mbuthia, Deputy Treasurer at Kenya Volleyball Federation. He is also, chair of the Beach Volleyball Commission. He works in the school games ecosystem, so he can talk about that. And he said he's not going to jump the gun until everyone sits down and they agree on how the CBC Sport and Physical Education program, which is now core, is going to be managed at junior high school level, and the progression to senior secondary school level, and how it's going to affect the school games ecosystem in full. We take a little break. Thank you very much, Mwalimu. And we take a short break now, and we play you a tribute program to the great Pele. And when we come back, we shall be talking chukball. We're joined by Caroline Gedaiga, who's the Acting Secretary General of the Federation. And also, we've got Brian Bichanga, who is a coach and referee. That's in just about 9 minutes' time.